Hello everybody, welcome. Right, let me just make sure everything's working. Okay, and I can, don't sound like I'm inside my head either. Right, let's see. Hello! Yeah, I see Black Magic Society did the unk thing. Yeah. Let's see, Black Magic Society, Kerry, Tracy's here. Hello Tracy, welcome back. We missed you last week. I think the week before, can't remember now. Castor the Mad is here, and Live Love, and Yolandi. Does it say Yolandi? And Zanka. There we go. I think I've got everybody there. Welcome. Thank you for joining. I did see Tracy asked. Kerry asked Tracy, but I thought it's a good question though. Do you think acts of service are adequate for offerings? Absolutely. You know, doing a service, or even like, you know, doing some volunteer work is also a really good offering to the spirits. So, yeah, absolutely. You don't need to spend lots of money on expensive wine and, you know, expensive chocolate cakes and whatnot. Yeah, you just do acts of service. And I mean, even as something like for Lucifer, for instance, who's the bringer of Gnosis, studying, you know, learning magic, could also be an act of offering. So, yeah. Right, I just want to. I'm assuming I'm coming through okay because nobody said anything yet. Just switch over to this. Nope, go over to there. There we go. Okay. Baba, hello Baba. Have I worked with Stolas? I haven't. No. I mean, I think if you're going to work with Stolas, it's mostly for learning astrology, and I'm not an astrologer, not interested in astrology, so I had no actual use for Stolas. So no, I haven't. But from what I know from people who have, fantastic spirit to work with. Oh, James is here as well. Hello, James. Oh, and yes, Castle, sorry to hear about your dad. My dad died of cancer as well. So I know what that's like. So we get caught up. Let's see. Black Magic Society said candle flame as an offering. Oh yeah, and incense. You know, a bowl of water. As simple as that is a fantastic offering. Water just is a fantastic conductor of electricity, but also energy. So you can put your energy into it, you know, your wishes and everything else, and give it to the spirit. How to do angel magic when you live with your family? I don't like angels myself, so I can't really help you there. I don't work with angels. They're in my understanding, they are the aspects of the larger things within our world. You know, the storms, the earthquakes, the things that are not personal to us, kind of thing. So I prefer working with the daemons, the chthonic spirits. But you know, in regards to, if we have a look at this from the perspective of working with any kind of spirit, well, no matter what it is, angel, god, goddess, daemon, fate, whatever, and you have some kind of restriction regarding your family, then just, can you light a candle? If you can light a candle in the privacy of your own bedroom, light a candle. Just say a prayer, and you don't have to say it out loud. Just say it, and yeah, and then just keep it simple. And I think I've been seeing this a lot lately again as well, is that people get the impression that in order to work with the spirits and do magic in general, it has to be complicated. You know, you have to do ceremony and ritual, and you have to have an altar, and you have to put all these things on your altar and have incense and charcoal burning, and, like, you know, put some frankincense or some myrrh on it or whatever it may be, and you know, give all your offerings and say your prayers and do your ritual and move around the space and all this. You don't. Just keep it. You can keep it as simple as you want to. It can just be lighting a candle and saying good morning. That's how you connect with a spirit of any kind. So maybe give that a try. James, hi both. What do you mean? Black Magic Society said Neteru for me. Yolandi, angels can be picky who they work with. Yeah, they can be. Tracy, fine to James, live love. I think I did say hello earlier. Sorry, I'm not sure if I missed you. I'm sorry. Yes, they love water, always offer candles and incense throughout. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my morning stuff, my everyday morning routine is just to get the water. I've got 3 different altars. There's the house spirit, there's the ancestors, and then there's my working altar, where I kind of work with the deities and the daemons, etc. And I kind of just go around and replace the water and say good morning to everybody, and that's it. Takes a minute maybe, and then I'll do my practice. But that's the main thing, is just giving them that water offering, lighting a candle, lighting some incense, and just saying good morning, like we would to any other person we want to build a relationship with. Castle, hello, hi, welcome. Tracy's got clumsy fingers. It's okay, I do as well. I got big fat fingers. Terrible on the little keyboards. Live love. Honestly, as soon as I do that and pull out the matches, the energy shifts. Yeah, it's because it's also that mental aspect, the psychological shift that happens as well when you go into ritual. You know, and can be as simple as that. It's just pulling out the matches, because you know, psychologically, you know, you're going to strike the match and you're going to light the incense on the candle, which is connecting you to the spirit. And, you know, when we do a lot of ritual and ceremonial work, it is, again, you know, you might have robes that you put on, or some kind of different clothes which are special and kept aside for doing magic. So, you know, it's not the mundane. You're shifting from that mundane into the magical, and just putting on a piece of jewelry or robe or something like that can do that, create that psychological shift. So yeah, just lighting a match, that's perfect. Baba is lighting candles and sigil enough. Absolutely, absolutely. You don't even need the sigil. Now, this is why I say you can go as simple as you. If you need to go really, really simple because of circumstance, go simple. Just light, if you can light a candle in your private space, just light a candle, close your eyes, and you can visualize the sigil. If you know, you can practice. Good practice for visualization techniques as well, is just to visualize the sigil and, you know, change its color, let it move around, all that stuff. Or you can just chant the N internally, mentally. You don't have to do it aloud. You can put on headphones and listen to the N. There's a lot of people on YouTube have now recorded like tons and tons of different N's for all the different daemons. If it's an angel, you might just want to just repeat the name. Or with the angels, you'll probably find, if you go in a Kabbalistic direction, that the angels are connected with specific god names, so you can sort of open gates and things like that. But you might not want to do that at this point. But yeah, no, you can just light a candle and do something internally. Just say a prayer. Just talk to the spirit. You know, tell the spirit how your day's been. Something simple. James said, glad to hear it. Tracy, I'm doing well. I was out in the country all last week for a wedding, so just readjusting to being at home. Cool. I'd like to be out in the country for a week as well. Black Magic Society, I have a car shrine that I attend to each morning. Hail Amun Ra. Live Love. I wanted to thank you. I've been watching your videos for a while. First live, but I love your teaching. Saying, oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Thanks for subscribing and watching. I appreciate it. Black Magic Society, yes, creative visualization is magnificent. Yeah, I think it's an important aspect. And how that visualization goes. I mean, we've spoken about aphantasia before as well for people who do suffer from that. It can be, visualization doesn't need to be imagery that we may see with our eyes type of thing, or internal eyes, or a mind's eye, or whatever terminology we use. And that's the difficult part, is when we use these words. Visualization can be the sounds that come up, the senses, the touch, the feelings, so it can be different for different people. But if you don't suffer from aphantasia, visually, seeing something in your mind's eye is a very good exercise to build up. Helps with journey work as well. Rixie Business, hello, thanks for joining. Just used the Demon of the Week video for Azazel and connected to Azazel last night. Thank you. Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. I thought it was helpful. Baba, is angel magic the same with working Archangel Michael and Javriel? It can be. See, this is the problem. I mean, when we talk about angel magic, what are we really referring to? I mean, it could be Enochian magic, which is considered to be connecting with the Enochian angels. But it could be working with the archangels, the 4 archangels, which are representations of the elements. They are the elemental kings. That's very different to working with them in different aspects. So it's a big field. And the problem with angel magic, I find, is that we have, I've forgotten the name now. It's that woman that made the angel cards. They got a bit silly. Angels are incredibly potent, powerful entities that really they govern huge things within our world, within our cosmos. And they were made to be these kind of like, I don't know, just wishy-washy. She just came up with a load of, there we go. No, not Doreen Valiente. No. I know it was a Doreen. Hang on. Doreen Valiente was brilliant. She was the one who worked with Gardner and Cochrane. Doreen Angel God. Virtue. There we go. Doreen Virtue. Yes. Almost the same. Yeah. No. Just as I said, it's just got a bit wishy-washy. So be careful of. Maybe it resonates with you. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong for everybody. I'm just saying maybe it does resonate with you. But I'm just saying, just bear in mind that if you start getting into angel magic, you're going to come up against Doreen Virtue, which did kind of create the whole wishy-washy thing. But you might find that you want to get a bit deeper, and that could hold you back if you do get hooked on it. So just keep your eyes open, your ears open. James, Leah had a dream message from Murmur overnight on Deep Numb. I may be overthinking, but do I need to do anything before jumping straight in? Oh, sorry, now you've deleted your message. Can I answer that, or do you not want me to answer that anymore? Just let me know. I'll shut up. Castle, been reading through the Picatrix. Oof, goodness, got through the first of the 4 books. Very interesting to read, and it's an incredibly interesting book. It's very, it's astrology. It's kind of like, it's magic that doesn't require energy movement, which is fascinating. But yeah, no, Picatrix is a really tough read. So hat off to you. Black Magic Society, the sound of the individual soul. I'm sorry, I've lost. I like the way that sounds, but I've lost what that had reference to. Sorry about that. Well, I went quiet. Cuckoo, Muniu, hello from Poland. Oh, hello. What's up? What's going on here? Magic issue. Yeah, it's Covenstead, so it's just a bunch of witches that get together and talk about whatever they want to. No specific topic. If you got a question, something you want to chat about, just drop it in the chat and we'll go through it. Mr. Philosopher, hello, please. Audio track not available. What audio track are you talking about? Sorry, I've lost you there. Not sure what you're talking about. Let me know what audio track you are referring to. Yolandi, are you referring to the Angel Tarot? Yeah, it was. I don't think it was a tarot. What did she? Oh, it was Angel Tarot. Let's have a look. But it was an Oracle deck. It wasn't a tarot. So I mean, she even got that wrong, probably. But yeah, I know it was Dorian's Virtue. Black Magic Society, what a wax she is, the Angel card. Oh yeah, I know. Shame. She made a lot of money though. That's the problem. People come up with utter rubbish and crap, and they make shitloads of money, and the honest people just get left behind in the dirt. I don't know. Live love, it's very fluffy, absolutely. James, sorry, didn't write full thought out. Okay, I see you now. I'll go skip over there. Had a dream message from Murmur overnight on Deep Numb. Or maybe overthinking, but do I need to do anything before jumping straight in with developing a working relationship? Do your discernment, test whether it is Murmur and not an imposter or a parasite or something like that. If it came in a dream, it's the chances of it being the actual spirit are quite high. But just connect and do your divination. Just do your discernment and test, and then go ahead and start building the relationship. But always test, and do your divination. Black Magic Society, too new agey for me. Didn't want to be part of an angel cult. Yeah. It's the new age crowd. However, what demons do you work with? So I unless it specifically comes up, but usually I don't have a need to work with all of the demons. There's plenty of them. There's tons of them. The ones I specifically work with would be Boone, Orobas, Aim, Naberius, and Marvas, and also Barbatos more recently. A lot of those are because they have a very close relationship with some very specific deities I work with, like Barbatos has a very close relationship with Pan, for instance. Naberius has a very close relationship with Kerberos, who is associated with Hecate. And Boone, I did some work with Boone a few years back, a couple of years back, 3, 4, can't remember how long ago. And it came out that Boone is an aspect or a mask of Hecate. So it's kind of like why I've worked with them as well. But obviously, Lucifer's just been there for a long time, because Gnosis, Lightbringer, Horn Between the Crowns, traditional witchcraft stuff. Those are the ones I most closely work with. I mostly work with for inspirational stuff, but I have recently created, and I need to do some work on that this month. On the egregore project that I do, I created a muse, which just created it. It went wild. I got inspiration left, right, and centre. But I aim is kind of that if I start procrastinating, I'll kind of call on Aim. Orobas, I don't work with a lot, but has always kind of been there. I think Orobas was one. Was one that I worked with very early on. Just kind of stuck around. I just kind of like Orobas, and so always in my morning prayers. Yeah. But other than that, if something comes up, I might need to work with a different spirit, and I'll go call on them, just to do like a quick job or something like that. Live Love, what is the reed? Sorry, I missed it. I missed something as well. The reed. Which reed? What reed? I've lost you, love. Let me know what the reed was in reference to, and then we can have a chat about that. Sappho, hello Sappho. Speaking of the arse, Goetia, thoughts on Marbas? I love Marbas. By the way, happy Sunday, everyone. Hello, happy Sunday. I love Marbas. I am a healer, so I work with Marbas a lot in the healing aspect, and Marbas has actually gifted me a water dragon to use in my physical healing aspects. So yeah, no, I love Marbas. Lovely spirit to work with. Fantastic. Black Magic Society, do I invert Virtue laughed all the way to the bank? Oh yes, absolutely. Tracy, happy Sunday. Cuckoo. My question is too long for chat here, but I would be happy to send you an email because it is difficult for me to assess the situation I am in as a judge in my own case. I discovered that my great-grandmother practiced witchcraft, and strange things have happened and are happening in my family over the years. No one is able to help me. Alright, send me an email. I do offer a consultation service, but send me an email and we can see what it's about, see if I can help you first of all, and then we'll go from there. Yolandi, I have the deck. It's called the Archangel Power Tarot Cards. Created. I think she created loads though, didn't she? Let's have a look. Find it on Amazon. I think she created a whole bunch. Yeah, there was the Angels of Abundance Oracle cards, the Healing with the Angels Oracle cards, Angel Tarot, Angel Answers Oracle cards. Bloody hell. Daily Guidance, Goddess Guidance, Gayer Nell Tarot card set. There's just a whole bunch. Just went crazy, and this is why I say she just did a whole load of stuff and made a crap load of money, and yeah. Anyway, Druku. Oh, sorry, I read that already. Black Magic Society, Baal, he's cunning like me. Good stuff. Well, he's just the Lord, because that's what Baal translates to. So, James, what sort of test should I do? Or should be doing for discernment? Is it just confirming Murmur's biographical info, touching base with Murmur to see if they did contact me? So with the testing process, what you'll find is you start asking them things about themselves. Just go and do your research on Murmur, find out if there's any. Usually with the Goetic spirits, you can't really find any relation to parents and children and things like that, like you might do with Greek mythology. But find out as much as you can, and then start asking questions. And what you'll find is if the spirit is happy to answer the questions, then it's probably the spirit that you want to work with. If they start saying, "Do not question me, you mere mortal," then it's probably a parasite. And then blast them, banish them, get rid of them. It's usually what happens with the testing process. which is kind of the easiest part of the whole thing. But yeah, I'll just start questioning them about who they are, what they do. You know, even things like, you are a spirit within the Ask Oasia, which number are you? You know, it's just trying to see if they will actually answer you or not answer you. If they have this big massive ego and say, do not question me, then you know, you just know straight away, parasite. Live Love, I haven't worked with Boone yet. I've been wanting to, and that was interesting in connection to Hecate. Yeah, it was funny. When I did the Boone, or did the Demon of the Week about Boone, I actually mentioned it in there, and I went searching for other people who maybe have discovered this. I could only find one person, and they'd made a video and then it had gone deleted. So I couldn't find anybody else who had this connection. But it was a journey I went through. Well, it wasn't really a journey. I was actually just sat down and had a hot chocolate with Boone one night, chanting the N and whatnot, and then I just went into this trance state and started going through this journey experience. And she just showed me that she, through various symbolism, that she is actually Hecate, or a mask of, an aspect of Hecate. And then since I posted that, a lot of other people said yes, they've also experienced that, and a lot of people disagreed with it, and that's fine. I mean, we all have different experiences, but that was my experience anyway. Kerry says I work with Agaras and Marbas. Yep. Live Love, I know you mentioned a book earlier. Oh, someone else asked you if read a book they were reading. Which book was that? See, I'm getting old. Bloody hell. No, completely lost it. We were talking about the Dorian Virtue stuff. If anybody remembers what the book was, let me know. Oh, Picatrix. Oh, it was probably the Picatrix. Casa mentioned that they're reading the Picatrix, first of 4 books. Yeah, the Picatrix is an old tome. Some good translations out now. I can't remember which ones are the best though. Thinking about it now. But yeah, it was probably, I was talking about the Picatrix earlier. Tracy, am I begging to work with Marbas? But I like him. Yeah, no, Marbas is fantastic. And beginning to work with Marbas, yes, he's fantastic, especially for healing and cures. What I like about Marbas is the overlay with the mechanical arts. So you know, it's not just kind of like healing through herbs or even healing through energy or whatever. Marbas kind of takes things to pieces and kind of examines the layers and everything else. Because of the mechanical arts aspect. So yeah, excellent healer. And also does the opposite. I remember a story many years ago. A magician was talking to Marbas about, you know, curing and creating disease, and came out that some magician asked Marbas to create the Black Plague back in whenever it was, the 17th century or whatever it was. So yeah, spirits are very interesting, I've got to say. Cuckoo, great thanks. Well, a quick question for chat: can each of us practice any kind of spirituality magic? Sometimes spirits choose us, so maybe it's worth checking what spirits we have with us. Well, you don't even need to work with spirits to do magic. You know, it's something I've been trying to kind of put across lately as well. I know we talk about spirits all the time on this channel, sure, but you don't need to work with spirits. I work the energy model. I just happen to work with spirits in that framework. But yeah, it depends on culture as well. You might find that if you're trying to practice magic of a particular culture which is far removed from you, and there are some which are close practices, you might have a bit of difficulty there. And even if the spirit from that particular culture comes to you, be respectful, do your research, try and connect with the culture, try and get a foot in so that you are actually giving your salt, helping out and things like that. But other than that, it depends on what you're attracted to, what your own personal nature kind of leads you to. Some people like really complicated ceremonial magic, like Golden Dawn ceremonies that just have or ceremonial magic that where you're just doing ritual after ritual to align yourself with particular aspects and elements and planetary alignments and everything else. Other people like simple stuff, folk magic, and just putting something together and saying a charm. So it really depends on what you're attracted to. Right, where was I now? Level up. You can check out the Angel card by Angel Tarot. Travis Cheney. Didn't he do a demon one as well? He also did a demon tarot as well. If he's looking for something a little less new agey. Yeah, let me just double check I've got the right one, because I actually went and looked at that demon deck and it's awful. Just make sure it's the same guy. Right. Yeah, don't even know if it's the same one though. I'm getting all political stuff anyway. Yeah, I think it was the same guy. It was just, he had all the 72 spirits in, and then to make up the other 6, he kind of put in Baphomet, Lucifer, Beelzebub. He put in spirits that were not connected at all to the Ask Goetia, and he called it the Goetic Tarot deck or something, I can't remember. But then all the correspondences were really weird. I watched an interview as well. It wasn't long after he created the deck actually, and he said that he's been reading about magic and he's only been practicing for a year. Reading and practicing are very, very, very different things, and all of a sudden he just came up with this whole deck. I looked at it, I didn't like it. But if it's the same person, can't remember who the bloody name was now. But anyway, I did ask Uncle Lee about it. Maybe I'm just too opinionated, I don't know. Oh shit, it skipped, hold on. Oh god, there's lots in the chat. Sorry, I need to catch up. Baba, I was trying to work with Stolas. What should I do? Build a relationship. Just start there. Just start building a relationship. Connect with the spirit. Do your testing. Do your divination, your discernment. Make sure you're working with the correct spirit, and then just give offerings each day and say good morning. Speak to the spirit. Build a relationship. And then start asking for, you can do dream incubation, for instance. When you go into bed, you can repeat the N in your mind and then say, Stolas, bring me an answer in my dreams, or whatever it may be. But yeah, just build a relationship with the spirit. James, smashing, thanks Lee. That'll be my homework for Monday. Good stuff. Cuckoo, I feel like the gods and spirits hate me. I guess I should be an atheist, or maybe I have malicious spirits around me that want me to think so. It might be that you think that. They might not hate you, but you are creating that yourself. But yeah. Live love. So maybe it wasn't a book. No, it wasn't Picatrix. Okay, don't worry about it. Yes. Okay, so it was the Picatrix. I don't know. I think we got that sorted out. It's the problem with the chat actually, and it gets delayed. Cuckoo said my rituals and practices do not produce any results. It doesn't mean that you don't have a connection with the spirits. Maybe you don't want a connection with the spirits, and maybe you just feel you have to because everybody else does. Just start experimenting. You know, start with like something like sigil magic, which removes the spirit model altogether when you're working with sigils, and understand how that works, how you use trance to transfer the image of the sigil into the unconscious mind, and then go from there. You know, learn how to do magic without depending on external forces. You've got all the power you need. You're the only thing you need to do magic. So maybe try there. You start there, and then maybe at a later stage, then start working with spirits. Yeah, give it a try. Black Magic Society said Picatrix is a great study. Then Arbitel and the 3 books of occult philosophy by Cornelius Agrippa. Yeah, yeah. The problem is Picatrix it's astrology. So you know, if you don't have a leaning towards astrology, you know, elections, talismans, and all that stuff, it might not have much value actually to somebody reading it. Don't know. Tracy at Cuckoo. I don't think the gods are haters. I think you may well have a parasite. Also, how do you feel about yourself? Good questions. Yeah, absolutely. Black magic, the timeless study of the Purge Emru. Okay. Little Love said thank you. User 2001. Hello. Thanks for joining. Which are the ones you have the most experience with? You were talking about daemons from the Goetia, or are we talking about gods and goddesses? Are we talking about what spirits in general? I mean, I've been working with various spirits for the past 30 years, so it gets a bit. The list gets long. I mean, there's a bunch of Hindu gods and goddesses. There's a bunch of, well, not that many. I mean, personally, really closely work with, rather than. This is the problem. If I tell you the spirits that I have experience with, that's going to be an incredibly long list. But the ones I have very personal bonds with, that gets a bit shorter. I was talking about it earlier. Specifically, the Goetia would be Boone, Orobus, Aim, Naberius, Marvas, and Barbatos. Those are the ones I closely work with. But I've worked with others. Tracy, I've had to do a lot of work on that still too. But my society, no worries. Kerry Lee, I remember your thoughts on Gardner, I believe, assigning the tarot to the Ask Goetia, but wondered how Marbas got the 6 of Pentacles charity card when he specializes in healing. That goes back to not Gardner, to Golden Dawn, Mathers, etc. And then Crowley extended on it didn't extend on it, just repeated it, put it into his version of the Ars Goetia. Yeah, that had to do. Oh, no, I forget. It had to do with alignment with the Decans, and it may not have specifically been about the nature of the spirits themselves. It was the tarot cards aligning with the Decans, and then the 72 spirits were split into 2, day and night spirits, and 36 each for the 36 Decans. But yeah, that's kind of how they came up with that. So as I say, the card might not have relationship to the spirit. It's got to do with the placement of the Decans, more specifically. Paul Casanova, thanks for joining. Hello. Very often newcomers expect dramatic results with magic, and they are disappointed when they realise that it is usually more subtle. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. You know, to say I did work and didn't get any results um, can kind of be, I didn't get this powerful wow thing. The other thing, the other side of that obviously is, you have kind of the beginner's luck thing. So you kind of do something for the first time, all of a sudden there's this like really cool result that you get, and then you do it again expecting the same results and nothing happens because you have that expectation. So there's a whole load of different things that can happen, but yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. Oh, just skipped. Hold on. Black Magic Society. The black and white chessboard in my head is my ceremonial space. To some, healing as a charitable action. Yeah, I actually like that idea of the black and white chessboard. It's actually a protection ritual that I did years ago, and I love giving it to people. It's something I learned from a druid book. I wonder if I can find it again. Which one it was at least. But it was a great book because, oh, here it is, got it. Or great ritual because what it did, it kind of like set up 4 columns and they were black and white alternate, and then you kind of set up the floor, which is a black and white checkerboard, and then you put energy walls up and you put a roof on, and then you call your ward or your guardian to you, and it was fantastic. Loved it. It was called Druid Magic: The Practice of Celtic Wisdom by Maya Maggie Sutton and Nicholas R. Mann. Loved that book. Oh, I read that years ago. That was when my daughter was still a baby. Bloody hell. I'm getting bloody old. Right. Sorry, it just reminded me of that for some reason. Alright. Yes, what makes sense, because I don't know the angels that well either. Andy, why do you say new agey? Does magic not evolve as time goes on? There surely isn't just one way of doing things. Doing something new isn't wrong, is it? Yeah, no, I agree with that. When we say new agey, there's 2 ways we can think of this, and it's usually referenced. One is the wishy-washy kind of like toxic positivity of the new age crowd, and that can be damaging. It's caused a lot of people a lot of problems and difficulties and trauma because of the toxic positivity. But that's usually that kind of new agey thing, and like the insta witches with look how pretty my altar is, and going around and I'm a fairy witch and all I do is wear wings in public, all of that kind of stuff. That's the new age. New age actually originated in the late 1800s with Blavatsky and that whole crowd. When they started taking Eastern practices and incorporating into Western practices, and that was the New Age movement, and that was an evolution in magic. Did get a bit appropriative and disrespectful and abusive, especially back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and especially with Blavatsky, because she was not a very nice person actually. But yes, it brought a lot of stuff to the evolution of magic. But I think when we talk about the new agey crowd, it's that toxic positivity people that it's not very healthy. Baba, to connect with Stolas is a sigil candle that ends enough. Oh yes, absolutely. If you can do a sigil, a candle, and chant the N, whether mentally or out aloud, or just a whisper, perfect. Love it. Yeah. Black magic. Then I was led further into the realms of astrotheology. Cool. Okay. Yeah, not an avenue that I've ever gone down or ever been interested. So, Landy, the esoteric channel has a lot of good info on astrology. Yeah. Hang on. I'm thinking of esoterica. I'm assuming the esoteric channel is different. Let me just see if I can find it and we can put a link in. I'll carry on anyway in the meantime, while my computer's deciding it wants to do stuff. Alexis Water 23, hello, welcome. Live Love, oh, said hi to Alex. User 2001, thank you for answering. It's a pleasure. Sappho, I heard of that, but I was a wee Wiccan at the time. Oops. Castle, when you do magic or your work, don't expect instead gratification. It dullies the work. It can cause you to get controlled and manipulated. What my Native American grandmother taught me. Oh yeah, don't expect gratification. Or instant. I'm assuming that's instant gratification. Well, that's the thing. You should really go in without any expectations at all. And then, if you don't have expectations, it kind of leaves you open, and then you're not controlling the flow of the information that's coming through, or the energy. Sorry, Yolandi, can you give me the name? Wait, somebody looks like it's... Okay, let me just go through the chat. I'll get there eventually. Sappho, it was for meeting your HGA. I'm lost. You said I heard of that, but I was a wee Wiccan at the time. What was that in reference to? Yeah, lost you there. Can you bring me back on track, please? Unless you're talking about the sacred magic of Abramelin the Mage. Level of spiritual bypassing. Yep, that too. Yep. Celeste. Hello, Celeste. Can be a cult-like and trauma exploitation is unused. Yeah. That's the problem with it. And I think the biggest, one of the biggest areas of this is the whole... It started with The Secret, actually. The whole manifestation movement. You can just do this thing and all of a sudden you'll become rich, and then people try it and they don't become rich and they become disillusioned and they hate themselves, and because they weren't given the proper teaching. It's just the other person is just getting money thrown at them because all these people expect them to have all the answers. I don't know, yeah, it's just bad. Level of Celeste. Oh, yes, 100%. I experienced this on a Discord server. Ooh, okay. Cuckoo New Age is more Annie Wood Besant than Blavatsky, I think. I think it started with Blavatsky. I mean, Besant came after, long after Blavatsky. I mean, Blavatsky started the whole Theosophical Society. Besant was just a part of that. But yeah, Blavatsky started, but who was that? She kind of had that. I think Besant is the one that really pushed it, was that Indian guy that was supposed to be like the voice in the West for the Eastern people and all that stuff. Can't remember what his name was now. But yeah, no, really, it just became, I don't know. Alexis, I think sometimes people who resort to magic may be desperate and thus impatient, especially if they need something specific and have already tried all common methods before deciding to go for alternative. These are one at a time magicians. There is that, people do try magic because they are desperate. It's just the way it is, and it's a sad thing. It really is. But yeah, what can you say? And it's the problem there is people kind of like do it out of desperation and it doesn't work because they're pushing too hard. It's kind of like trying to open a door by pushing it against the door frame. That's what tends to happen. And they also start out thinking that they don't have to do all of the foundational stuff, which can take months, even years, to actually get through. They just, work with a particular spirit or a demon. Demon will will solve all of your problems, and just do this thing and let's solve all of our problems. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. But then the problem is they spend so much time trying to solve it through magic without understanding how to do magic, and then they just dig their hole deeper and deeper and deeper and become more and more desperate, and it becomes more and more difficult to actually get out of it. So it's a very unfortunate circumstance. Yolandi is same channel. By same channel, I'll assume when I said esoterica, is that what we're talking about? I think so. Okay. Alright, so esoterica. Everybody knows esoterica, so I don't need to put that link in the description. Or in the chat. Castle, yes, sorry. Oh no, don't. No, it was just a typing error. Don't worry about that. That's fine. Black Magic Society Unslaved podcast here on YouTube has info on astrotheology and the inner zodiac. Michael Sarian is brilliant. Alright, shall we put that one in? Because I haven't heard of that one. Unslaved podcast. Kerry said, Lee, I love Murta and a demonology handbook. It's got all of the grimoire stuff and her UPG. I love the book. I think it's great. She's had a lot of flack about it. People telling her that she's just wasted her time doing it. But she actually worked with each and every spirit. She actually connected with them and got their input. And just kind of gathered all the information from Jehannam, from Connolly, wherever else she could find information. She just put that in, and then she put, as you said, her own UPG. I think it was brilliant. I think she did a fantastic job, and a hell of a lot of work to do as well. Hold on, lost it. Unslaved.podcast. See what comes up. Okay, here we go. Unique and mind-expanding weekly conversation featuring Michael Sarian. Okay, here we go. That's the one. Okay, I'll put that in the chat for everybody if anybody's interested. Okay, level of, for some I think it leads them into deeper studies, the secret stuff. Yes, yeah, it can do, the secret movie. It can do. The problem you find, generally people are lazy, so, if they are given the answer, that's it for them. They're not going to look any further. The problem is with The Secret, the book and the movie, it wasn't the answer. It was only a portion of the answer, and after I think it was the movie, it might have been after the book came out, but definitely after the movie came out, the people that were interviewed actually started doing their own thing. I can't remember all of their names. There was actually one guy who toured South Africa quite a lot, and kind of filled in the rest of it, because the secret kind of says, think positively and you'll get what you want. But it wasn't just about thinking positively, it was about feeling positive. It was about actually the feeling expression, and also visualization, actually creating this visualization, which is part of the present, because it activates the mirror neurons. So there's a whole lot of stuff that they didn't put in there, but everybody thought they had the answer, so it made a lot of money. And then people try it, doesn't work, they throw it away and say, oh, this is a load of bullshit. But it's just because they didn't have the whole answer, and that's where the problem comes in. It's all about making as much money as you can. But Black Magic Society is not. It's not so secret if you chat. Well, now we all know the secret. Sappho, but the method I was taught stops at just meeting your HGA. Desperation itself can be used to raise energy, and it's very effective. Okay, so first of all, but the method I was taught stops at just meeting your HGA. Which method are you talking about? And I think you referred to a book earlier. Sorry, I feel like I'm missing. Hold on, I've got top chat instead of live chat. Don't know if that's going to change anything. If I've missed something, just let me know. But if the method you're taught stops at meeting your HGA, then you've got a whole lot of stuff to do after that. Meeting the HGA is just the pinprick on the iceberg. After you meet your HGA, after you have knowledge and conversation, that's when the work starts. That's like a lifetime, the rest of your lifetime you'll be working with your HGA, learning what your true will is, actually, strengthening that bond and connection, and getting to know bringing your soul parts together. Just the knowledge and conversation is just the starting point. That's just like somebody kind of like said, here's the handle of the door, but they haven't even opened it yet. That's that's the starting point. So there's a lot of work to do after that. But desperation itself can be used to raise energy. It can. The problem is it's so scattered and chaotic that it doesn't have focus, and that's where the problem comes in. If you are able to take that energy and actually fine tune it, focus it, and bring it in, you can use anger. I use anger to in the same way. Raise a lot of anger, generate it, get it pulsating, and then fine tune it, bring it into one ball and aim it at the target, and very effective. But somebody who's desperate, they're just starting out in magic, thinking that it's going to solve all their problems, it's not going to help much. Celeste, just forgot about the magic I cast, especially with sigils. If I keep thinking about, I find it doesn't work. That's usually that's the thing that people talk about when they say lusting after results. It's you are consciously, you are continuously bringing it back into the conscious mind instead of just leaving it in the unconscious and letting it do what it needs to do. And when you keep bringing it back into the conscious, you start adding things and changing its direction, short-circuiting it. So that's why you're told to do it, forget about it, and don't lust after the results, and just let it do its work. Gotta just put it out there and just let it do whatever you need. Sorry if I Yolandi, sorry if I missed any comments. Struggling to read. Was assaulted earlier in the week and my specs broke. Used my old pair and can't read so well on the small screen. Sorry about that. Live Love, the secret movie. Tracy, Yolandi, I'm sorry. Are you okay? Alexis today. God, I really need to catch up on the comments. They're really coming through. Alexis, today I had a great, wonderful spiritual experience. Lady Aphrodite came to visit me when I was feeling distressed. Nice, good stuff. And I didn't even call on her. It was such a nice surprise. I felt such nice, lovely. Yeah, as long as it helps, that's the main thing. Yolandi at Live Love. I guess it's not a secret anymore. Tracy, I'm okay. I've been through worse. Right, let me thanks for the link. It's a pleasure. Welcome. Cuckoo, reaching for magic in desperation can be a kind of shamanic disease. Happy people do not care about spirituality, they prefer to have fun, and when they feel bad and there is no way out, then they turn to magic or spirituality. Maybe this is the only way the spirits force people to engage in practice instead of wasting time on empty rituals and materialistic life. Yeah. Always find that people who do divination professionally, the only time people come to them is when things are bad, and you should actually be, divining all the time. What's going to happen next week, what's going to happen next month, how's the year looking, and all that stuff, to see where the roadblocks are so you can get ahead of it. But people tend to only, pay attention to this stuff when things are bad. It's just human nature. Well, I think I'm at the end of the comments. Castle, I've been working with Uriel, been working with Sandalphon a lot. Finding that Sandalphon and Metatron are one and the same at times. A lot of people do say that. They do find that, because if you look at it in relationship to the Tree of Life, for instance, the ones in Ket are the ones in Malkut, so it's that as above, so below, bringing Ket into Malkut, etc, etc, etc. So a lot of people do find that Sandalphon and Metatron are the same, feel like the same, kind of do that. Celeste, they dangle a carrot to get you hooked. Oh yeah. But it's not usually an honest carrot, that's the problem. Live Love, yes, and that's marketing. Yes, absolutely. And the problem is the people who are good at marketing are making all the money, but they are just presenting the biggest load of bullshit, unfortunately. Yeah. Landy, the secret is that the author made a lot of money from half info. Yeah, that's true. Although we can say authors. Well, not there's the author, and then there were the people that actually got interviewed, because they all went out, and then when it made a shitload of money, I think probably more than the author of The Secret did, because they started doing tours all over the world, because they were connected with The Secret, and therefore they had that kind of got them in the door. They got a big name because of that. But yeah, a lot of stuff that they spoke about was valid. I mean, it's useful. But it's just the book itself was just silly. Black Magic Society, yes, they dangle a carrot, and the unconscious people grab it. Anything to avoid doing shadow work necessary for any spiritual catharsis. That's part of the problem, and the people that are good at marketing and are selling the crap, what they're doing is they are basically kind of taking advantage of the Western mindset, really. We come from this Western mindset which is very Christianized, where somebody has all of the answers for you, and you just have to go find the person who has all the answers. You don't have to do the work yourself, as you said, anything to avoid shadow work. And that's what people are doing. They're kind of saying, well, you've got a what's it called, a pain point, and I have the answer, and I'm the only person who has the answer. Therefore, go and spend, $50 or $100 on this thing that I do once a month, and I'll, make you all better, make all your problems disappear. because I have the answers for you. And then the person goes along, does it, and I'm actually talking about somebody specific at the moment, but I'm not going to name them because that's rude. And then people go and join this $50 thing, and they have this ritual done for them, and they find themselves in a whole boatload of trouble because now all of a sudden they're thrown in the deep end of their shadow self, and they don't know how to swim because they weren't taught how to swim. And then they go back to the person and say, I'm going through all this shit and I don't know what to do. I feel like my life's falling to pieces. What do I do? Help me. And the person goes, oh, it's just part of the process. Don't worry about it. Just carry on. Yeah, right. And then, yeah, people end up in institutions. So, yeah, that's my bitch and rant for the day. Thanks very much. Celeste, this is why discernment is important. Absolutely. Yes, I agree. Alexis, I've heard Sandalphon and Metatron are separate angels, but what's common, they both have had human incarnations, so maybe it is there where there is some matching energy aspect. That could be, I don't know. As I said, I don't work with angels myself. But you know, I'm saying that I don't work with angels. I mean, I do work with some angels, like Lucifer is considered to be an angel, but I don't consider Lucifer to be an angel. There's Azazel, who was part of the Watchers, you know, led the Watchers, or sometimes called Shamyaza, that I work with. But again, I wouldn't even consider that to be part of this angelic aspect. I think that was kind of like terminology that one specific group of people and culture used, whereas another group of people and culture saw them differently. I mean, if you go into a lot of old folklore throughout Europe, the Watchers, who are considered to be these angelic beings, the Grigori, who kind of rebelled and had sex with women and made the giants, the Nephilim. They, in a lot of folklore, they're considered to be the Fae. Sorry, fairy. You know, I don't know. I think it's comes down to personal interpretation again. Black Magic Society, the secret cult. No thanks. No, don't like the secret cult. James, does anyone have any advice for starting a necromantic practice? There is a specific deceased that I'm hoping to get some insight from, but yet again I may be overthinking. Is this specific deceased person part of your extended family, your family or extended family? Are they part of your ancestors? Let's put it that way. Or is it completely separate from anybody you've ever known in your life? But the best thing to do is put out a bowl of water. Again, a bowl of water, a candle, you know, kind of just like connect with them, talk to them. And a bowl of water and a candle is where you start. And then just call out. If it is ancestrally based, I would, come back to that. Bowl of water, candle, call out to the spirit, do your discernment. Definitely do your discernment, because if you're picking up a hungry dead or something like that, you're going to be in a whole world of trouble. They're going to start feeding off your energy, same as parasites do. Just be very careful there. If it's ancestrally based, reach out to the... It's often called the Desir, especially if you go into northern practices. It's usually considered to be the mother, but it's almost like a spirit which is a collective representation of all of your ancestors. How that comes through to you, for you, can be very different, but think of it like this spirit, this being, which is this collective representation, and reach out to your ancestors generally, not a specific ancestor, because if you reach out to a specific ancestor when you're starting out, what can happen is you create an image in your mind of who they are, and a parasite can pick up on that and come and connect with you, and then you think you're connecting with your ancestor. You're not. You're connecting with a parasite. Again, if you're doing it that way, make sure you do your discernment and testing. If you starting to feel off, you start feeling drained of energy, you start getting anxious, more depressed, over and above anything that may be normal or usual for you, you've probably picked up a parasite. Do some cleansing work, go back to the drawing board. But yeah, if you're going to start doing ancestral work specifically, it's better to reach out to the collective ancestors. Just let that representative come through, and then start working, going on from there. Celeste, funny thing about Metatron on night I was meditating and seen his cube spinning really fast. It was a delightful experience. Cool. I'm glad you're having the experiences. That's the main thing. And I've lost my place again. Okay. Casa of lean to incorporate spirits and gods and goddesses into everyday life. Make them part of everything and build a relationship with them. It's helped with my practice and healing of my spirit. Brilliant. Perfect. That's the way to do it, is incorporate them into your life. You do need to set boundaries sometimes, because these are beings that do not have any concept of human living, and needing to go to work, needing to live a life which is human and ruled by time. So just sometimes you do need to set boundaries. Black Magic Society, don't work with the dead. They're a smelly lot. I love the dead. The dead are fantastic. They're wonderful. God, I forgot about my hot chocolate again. At least it's nice when it's cold. Yolandi, it's like the courses at my work. They love promoting vision boards, but don't give the full information behind it. Oh yeah. It's usually, it's kind of like, here it is, now do it. You don't know what you're doing. Carrier James, Book of Ancestors from Claire Goodchild. That's actually a book I think I've got on my list. I need to read that. If you are interested, I am busy creating a very, very big course, necromantic course. It goes through ancestral magic, it goes through graveyard work, it goes through working with the dead specifically, how to deal with hungry ghosts and parasites and all that stuff. It's a big one. Go to witchacademy.online. We'll put it in the chat just in case anybody else is interested. Witch Academy, Academy online. I am still busy. I've recorded the whole thing. I'm busy editing. I'm going to continue editing this week, so hopefully that will be up and running soon. It's going to be it is a big course though, but well worth it. Celeste, I have to figure out how to visualize, as I have aphantasia and it is difficult with things. I did do somebody with aphantasia actually said it did help. I did do a video on aphantasia. If you want to go watch that, I don't know if you have already. Basically, the general advice tends to be, if you read a fiction book, how do you interact with the story? So for somebody who doesn't have aphantasia, it's usually quite a lot of character building visually. You'll see the characters, they're moving around, they're talking to each other and all that stuff. How do you interact with the story itself? It could be through feelings, it could be through a different sense altogether. And this is where we kind of get, the difficulty comes in with this term visualize. We immediately think it has to do with the eyes, and it doesn't. When we're talking about visualization, when we're talking about the psychic senses, or having the sight and seeing, it's not just to do with the aspect of the eyes or the psychic eyes. It's got to do with the entire being. We see with our entire self. I don't see I don't have clairvoyance. I don't have clairaudience. Maybe now and again I might get something, but it's not something that's strong with me. I have claircognizance, so I kind of know, you know, where things are, where energy's moving and things like that. So kind of try and figure out how you interact with fiction story, and that's your visualization technique. So I don't know, give it a try. Let me know if it works. Black Magic Society vision boards equate with subliminal programming, if not your visions. Can do. I find vision boards very useful for magic purposes, and in fact, when you're doing sigil magic, to put a whole bunch of sigils up on the wall and just gaze at them every now and again. It's a it reinforces the magic in the unconscious mind. So you don't stand there and gaze at the board or the sigils or whatever you've got. You just unconsciously walk past and just glance at it, and it reinforces that unconscious connection. But I find it very useful. Not if you don't know what it's got to do with, obviously. That's a different story altogether. Castle, Alexi, they are separate angels' energies, feel the same at first, then they change as you work with them. Okay. Alexis, Carnal Whispers, Mastery of Necromancy, Death and Undeath by Somnus Dreadwood is a good book on the topic. Okay. I think I did read that once. Found it a bit edgy. But yeah, it's not a bad author, but yeah, anyway. James, Carey, you're a star. Cuckoo, Lucifer was created as a translation error in the Bible, so isn't it strange that someone is working with a Lucifer who never existed? Lucifer is a misinterpretation. Well, this is the thing, there's many Lucifers. There's not just one singular entity that is Lucifer or a Lucifer. It's a job title. It's the Lightbringer, the bringer of Gnosis, and there are many spirits that do that. And I personally think everybody has their own personal Lucifer. James, no, this deceased is not a relative of mine, an ancient Egyptian priestess whose funerary scroll I'm trying to get my head around. Okay, alright, in that case, you'll probably want to work with them the same way. I mean, if it's an ancient Egyptian priestess, you'll probably want to work with it the same way you would with a spirit, generally. You know, that's a bit different to working with a, you know, Bob down the road who died and now, you know, is just wandering around. That's a very different thing, yeah. And if you have the funerary scroll, you can use that as a connection to the actual spirit. Yeah. Black Magic Society, Nephilim had their way with the women, but no, the Nephilim were the children. But the texts never say what the women fought. That the women fought back, by the way. The Nephilim were the children. The Grigori were the ones who took the women as wives. Naama being the most famous example in that situation, who coupled with Azazel and birthed Asmodeus, and various other tales and myths and stories. Black Magic Society, Lucem was known before Nebuchadnezzar was an itch on his daddy's nutsack. Yeah, well, Lucifer's been around for a long time. In Roman interpretation, it's the light of Venus. It's really all Lucifer is in that aspect. Alexis Casarasi, thank you. Castle, you're welcome. Castle, Society. Working with Santa Muerte, you get used to it, and moving the spirits over becomes easy. Oh, I think I'm almost at the end again. James, I was doing research on the PGM and started looking into funerary scrolls to get an idea of Egyptian magic pre-PGM. Turns out the mummy of the author of one of the scrolls is in a museum near me. Cool, very nice, because you can go visit it. Actually get a, you might not be able to get a, or touch it, but you can be close to it. You can probably pick up and sense an energy vibration coming off it. Cuckoo LSM had a few life situations related to LSM, and I'm still wondering whether to start building a relationship with her. Oh, La Santa Marte, okay. A friend of mine laid out the tarot and said that if I did it, it would be a disaster. Santa Marte interest. Yeah, I have never worked with Santa Marte, and I probably never will. I mean, I do necromantic work. I work with the dead. I hammer, psychopomp, etc., etc., etc. But I wouldn't work with Santa Marte simply for two reasons. One, I have absolutely no connection to the culture she comes from, and I feel like it would be appropriating. Two, just something I heard. J. Allen. Oh, what's his bloody name again? I'll get the name just now. It was really good. He wrote a really good book on American brujeria. It was called American Brujeria. And something he said in the podcast once actually resonated with me. That Santa Marte has become really popular. People are just going out and buying statues and putting them in their houses. And it's literally inviting death into your house. And yes, I do necromantic work and I work with the dead and everything else, but I wouldn't want death to come into my house. Simply that reason I wouldn't work with Santa Marte myself. And maybe that's what the person who's doing the tarot was picking up on. I don't know. Let me just get his name. J. Allen Cross. That was his name. Brujeria. Yes, J. Allen Cross. The book is American Brujeria, Modern Mexican American Folk Magic. Fantastic guy. Him and somebody else did a podcast for a while. I'll get the podcast now because it's really good. It's on Spotify. Let's go. Oh, here we go. Podcasts. They discuss some really good stuff. It's called Invoking Witchcraft. It was with Britton Boyd and J. Allen Cross. Fortunately, they stopped it. I think they carried on. Did they pick it up again? Let's see. One. No, they stopped on January 31st, 2023 was the last episode. Brilliant. Just, I mean, there's a crap load of bloody podcasts in there, though. Anyway. Black Magic Society. I work with Hermeticism, alchemy, not lower forms of conjuration. First principle of Hermeticism is all is mentalism. Okay. Castle, been working with her for 34 years. Okay, well there you go. Got somebody who has worked with Santa Marte. Yolandi, I can hear, sometimes see and feel spirits, working on my seeing of spirits. Yeah, it's, I mean, you can, I think the important thing is to kind of like pick up your strongest sense, work on that for a while, you know, develop it so you've got something, and then you can go off and develop your other senses, you know, but make the ones you've got stronger. It's always very helpful. Celestial see stuff out of the corner of my eyes. Sometimes I'll see multicolored orbs. One time I've seen a huge one that was orange and gold combined. You do tend to see them out the periphery of vision. I can't remember why now. This came up a couple of months back in, I think it was this Covenstead chat, and somebody filled me in, so maybe that could happen again. There is a reason, because it was Jono that actually came up with the answer, and he's not here today, damn it. I can't remember. It's something to do with the, if you look at it directly, something to do with the wavelength or something like that. So anyway, you tend to see spirits and stuff out the from the or through the periphery vision, those natural things. Kerry Lee, what's the clair when you just know things? That's claircognizance. Yeah. There's a whole lot of other clairs that have come about now. They just keep coming up with more and more, I think. James have to run some errands. Okay, have a good one. Catch you all next time in Discord. Have a great day. Have a good one. Cheerio. Thanks for joining. Kerry, Tracy, Alexis, Castle, Black Magic Society. Too much like a collective death cult in the form of an egregore. Psychic energy cult. Okay, not sure what that was in reference to. Cuckoo, well, the death is present not only in my home but in my life. I live in an area that was a lake in which there are bodies of murdered people from both wars and the Swedish deluge, hence the interest in LSM. Yeah, maybe a connection with might actually help you get some answers, really. Barbara, what do you think of the book Damien Eccles, Angels and Archangels? I haven't read it, but I do know Damien Eccles' work, and solid guy, solid magician from what I know anyway. And a lot of people, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say anything bad about Damien Eccles or his books. So I'm going to give it a yes. As I said, I haven't read it myself, so from a personal perspective, I don't really know. But that's the general consensus anyway. Castle, Black Magic Society, she's my, I'm not even going to try and say that tonight. I would normally try, because I love trying to say Mexican names. Before the Catholic invaded Mexico, then they changed the name to Santa Muerte. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that, actually. It's interesting. Cuckoo, when I played with the band, each time we went on stage there was a storm or a power outage in the whole city. We played the last concert until the end, and moments later the whole club turned into a pile of rubble. Okay. Well, that was a very powerful evening on stage then. Brought the house down, literally. Celeste said my strengths tend to be seeing things in my dreams. They always give messages right before I wake up, and I'm who you said for who this message is. Got that mixed up. Anyway, yes. So you have dream visions. I think that's basically what you're trying to say there. Yeah, it's a great way to. I think a lot of spirits actually do communicate in dreams, and if you are a skilled dreamer, fantastic. I'm not. It's been an area that I have always battled with. I am trying to improve it. I always am. It's ongoing work, but I'll get there eventually. You know, Castle, have you got into your movie list? I have recorded the first one. Let me give you the date that it's scheduled and everything. It's ready to go. So the first review, I'm doing 3 a month, and it'll be 3 in one review. So the first one is a Dark Song, Color Out of Space, and Lord of Misrule. That was it. This coming Monday is going to be the introduction to punk magic. I think it's the Monday after. I'm just pulling up my schedule here. Yes, it's the Monday after, so the 9th is that one. And then the 16th, the Monday after that, is Toltec. I need to finish this book so I can do the review for the end of June. Live Love is the most important question. How to share your playlist. I love everything you are playing. Okay, well, I can share it here. It's actually the Tanya Tagak radio on Spotify. Share, copy the link. And here we go. There you go. Should give it to you anyway. I don't think it's it does say made for me, but I'm sure you'll pick it up. I'm sure it's public. I mean, it's not like I made it or anything like that. See if it works. Let me know. Yolandi, one thing I could never understand is people trying to fool empaths. You can see the BS a mile away, but pretend like we don't see it. Well, I think people try to fool everybody, whether they know they're empaths or not. I don't know, it just seems to be human nature. Just lie to everybody as much as you can. I don't know. Society is a weird thing, especially lately. Castle said true. I hope you're well. Celeste, my favourite song by Dead Can Dance is Dead Can Dance host. Oh yes, host is Sarah. I was actually, you know what? I was actually going to just do Dead Can Dance tonight. In fact, maybe we should do that because Dead Can Dance is just so amazing. And there's just so much variation. Should we do that? If anybody has any objections, just let me know. I'm just going to let it... Can I let it play? Yeah, I can let it play randomly. So we're just going to get a whole lot of random Dead Can Dance. Good stuff. Might have the problem there's a lot of live stuff. Hold on. Let me rather do albums. Let's do the Serpents. What did you say? This Hostess Seraphim. Isn't that in... I'll just play my favourite album. Serpent's Egg. There we go. Okay, sorry, here we go. Alright, I'll leave it now. Oh yes, the Host of Seraphim. It's the first one. Here we go. Okay, Cuckoo. Yes, the concert was huge, but along with the club, the health of all the band members suddenly collapsed in a few days. We became rubble and further activity was not possible, but it was worth it anyway. Yeah, sounds like a blast. Blast. Just terrible puns tonight, sorry. Live Love. I do a lot of, at Celeste, I do a lot of dream work, intention before bed, and protection in the ethers. It's such an amazing space. Yeah, I'm with the work I'm doing at the moment. I'm actually doing a lot of dream incubation. But just the work itself has increased my dreaming exponentially. Yeah, very interesting stuff though. Randy at Castle of the Madge. Oh, okay, my friend, how are you? Oh, yeah, okay. Kerry at Celeste and fond of Kantara. Live Love, it works. Cuckoo played Black Death, heavy thrash. Maybe too many influences, and that's why there was always a storm and ruins. Maybe you were raising a storm. God. Yeah. I mean, if you get enough energy flowing, you can do a lot of stuff with it. Especially if you are on stage, you know, it's not just you creating the energy with the music, it's also crowd that are generating energy, and if you can take all of that and direct it into some kind of magic which is helping something or other, try it. Maybe the building won't fall down then, because you're directing all the energy into actual magic work. But yeah. I don't know if I know. I thought about kids with that such liars. It's human nature. Yeah. Kerry Lee Underworld Kittens. Solar System. You might like this one. What are we talking about? Are there kittens in the underworld? Is this music? I'm not sure. Just fill me in, please. Castle at Elandy helping my dad get ready to die and coming to terms with it, and Santa Mate, Bastet and Sekhmet. But overall, I'm okay because I have to move the dying and dead over to the next life. Oh, I do that as well. It's quite a job. And you also say, being an empath like you, I've had to learn to help the dead move on and heal people and do protection. Yeah, not an easy job to do. Yeah, but good luck with that anyway. It's not an easy thing to go through. It's painful as hell, especially when it's your own dad. But I think understanding the process makes it a lot easier. I actually found it a lot easier when my mum died, because I'd already been through the process with my dad, and yeah, it just became very different. And my dad was there when my mum died, so he kind of helped her, and I knew he was there and everything else. So it made it a lot easier for me anyway. So yes, easier when you know the process, but still painful. So sorry to hear about that and everything else, but yeah, I'm glad you're working through it. Okay. Yolandi, this song is used in a lot of movies. Is it the host of Seraphim, or was it the other one? I don't know now. What's timestamps? No timestamps. Randy saying love and hugs, not easy. Castle. Oh yeah, I just read that already. Celeste sounds the same live. Watched the live in Sofia on YouTube and was talking about the live in the amphitheatre, and I got a message: research Greece in my sleep. Yeah, the Greek have a way of pulling us in, I think. I had, well, I do now, but I had no interest in the Greek at all. Greek mythology, anything. And, yeah, I got pulled in that direction. As much as I went kicking and screaming, I still got pulled. But yeah, no, Dead Can Dance, I mean, their discography, it's just like album after album that were seemed to be produced in 2021 were just live. They did a tour, obviously, and they just, each city they were in, they recorded and did an album. And it's just like tons of them. There's 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 21 albums of the lives from 2021 and 2022. So, yeah. So what I was trying to say is, when you shuffle through, you usually end up with a whole load of lives, and it tends to repeat as well. So rather play an album. Right, where was I now? Kerry said songs. Okay. Oh, songs. Oh, solar system. Okay, alright. I'll note it down, I'll go listen to it. So I'll switch now, I'm gonna end up not coming back to this. Underworld Kittens. And solar system. Okay. Oh, sorry. System. Okay. Okay, check this. Black Swamp Village, the Speakeasy Swing Band. I think I know who you're talking about, and they're brilliant. Love it. Yeah, they are very good. If it's the same band. Cuckoo, death is not terrible, but these circumstances leading to it are terrible. Yes, that's the problem. It's the process that you go through, the grief, the pain, you know, missing the person. I mean, even, you know, after my dad died, for the next 8, 9 years until my mum died, I was talking to my dad all the time. It's not like he was gone, but he wasn't there physically, and I couldn't like sit down with him and talk with him, and that I missed. Even though I could still talk to him, you know, he would answer me, and still there's that physical aspect that's it's very painful. It just is. Landy, the host of Seraphim, is used. Oh, okay. All right. Did not know that. Okay. Cuckoo, do you know the second name of death? Second name is omnipresence. Okay. Why? Sorry. Where did that come from? And why? Why is omnipresence the second name of death? I think the Christian God said the same thing. Castle, your Lakota music you were playing at the start was amazing to hear from you. Reminded me of dancing around the Sundance tree. Can't remember which songs they were. As I said, it was the Tanya Tagak radios. So there was a lot of other. Tanya Tagak is an Inuit woman, and she's considered to be what people call her, the Inuit punk or something, because she really doesn't embody the punk ideologies. It's brilliant. I love her. She's, excuse my language, but fucking powerful. She really is. So yeah, there's a lot of other stuff mixed in there, I think. Cuckoo, Aaron Chupa, Little Sis Nora, Rave in the Grave. Great video for this song. Cool. Celeste, there is a song I listened to. It is beautiful. Wardruna and Aurora Halvagan. There's a song about death, dying, and remembering those who have passed, about crossing over and about letting go. Yeah, great bands. Great bands, absolutely. And I would think they would do a lot of music and such regarding the death, dying, and the process, and ancestral veneration. Really, it's part of the culture, the tradition. Kaylee, please pull up the song "Solar System" by Underworld. I want to see if they like it. Okay, alright, let's do that then. Solar System. Here is Solar System by Underworld. Yeah, I've lost my place again. Okay, Yolandi, there is a hospice nurse who has a TikTok channel who posts videos with permission from family, showing how people die to help you prepare for death of a family member. Showing how people die to help you prepare. Really? Okay. I'd have to go see that. Look at that. Cuckoo, now I'm listening. Mugenics title theme. Have no words. Is this my music? You know, I was just got playing in the background here. Sorry, I think I hit the mic. Kerry organ retrievals were the hardest for me, especially when the patients came in crying. They told us it was a reflex. Oh, I'm sure it was. Borgia, hello. Reading about near-death experiences helped me immensely in getting over the deaths of my parents and my beloved pets. Yeah, I can see why. I can see how that would help. Going through it is a whole other experience. And yet, Kerry, just know that you are helping someone else by harvesting on an organ donor. Yeah, good stuff. Kerry, sorry, at Yolandi, I'm working on getting a conscious objective rule in my state for this procedure. Yolandi, oh, okay. Alright, yeah, that sounds interesting. I'd like to see what they're doing. Borgia, I took care of both parents while they were dying, and knowing that I would see them in another time helped so much. Yeah, I know it would. It's formed part of your worldview, and it helps them, you know. Celeste, I don't know, one night I had got woken up by a banshee wailing, and a few months later my father passed. Well, it is known to be an omen. So yeah. Yep, that can, I mean, it can happen. it's big part of mythology. Right, let's give Kerry our vote on the song. I think Kerry wanted to know if everybody likes the song. Castle, Lakota Ceremonial Songs by John Around Him is a good CD to get. Is the name John Around Him? Okay, well, Yolandi loves Underworld. Yeah, let me know. Let's just let me just have a search for Lakota ceremonial song. I've got a whole Native American playlist actually, because I just love it. I don't know, something about it. It's John Around Him. Okay, I'll try that. John Around Him on a song. That's by Jeremiah Red Earth. I'll have to go do a deeper search, I think, for that. I'll definitely do that though, thank you. Celeste, nobody else heard it. It was wild. You'll probably find that other people wouldn't. It's part of your own psychic senses, you would have heard it. And also, if you got woken up to it, it's possible it was actually well, you're waking up, so therefore it would be hypnopompic. Yeah, hypnopompic in nature. Just kind of like the waking up part of the hypnagogic or hypnagogic falling asleep part. So you're in between waking and sleeping, and you were probably coming out of sleep, and you would have heard it. Nobody else would have heard it because it was just for you. It was your own psychic senses that would have heard it. But that hypnagogic and hypnopompic stages between waking and sleeping are very, very powerful moments for doing a lot of things. Castle, it's what I go to listen to in an elevator or cafe. Okay, is it putting everyone to sleep? It was kind of mellow, but yeah, so is Dick and Dance. So we go back to Tanya Tagak. I kind of enjoyed that. Let's do that one again. Okay. Live Love said I like it for sure, just chill and gets in my groove while working like it. Castle, we sing those songs at Sundance a lot. Nice. Lovely. Live Love at Celeste. The same happened to me and two owls, and I saw and heard her same months before the death. Two owls as well. I mean, got all the omens there. Castor is a song I play as I read, carry not too much energy, like negative. And Cuckoo, I think I had a little enlightenment moment ago. The last song that destroyed the club we played in was a cover of Morbid Angel, Hate Work. If you don't know it, check it out, Monumental Mood. I will give it a search and a listen. Just write it down. But yeah, no, performative arts, if you're on stage, I don't know if you're still in a band and on stage, you know, have a look into hypersigilization. It's integrating sigil work into art, and that can be performative art, it can be stage work, it can be Grant Morrison did it with the Invisibles comic graphic novel. So yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do with magic on stage. Oh, looks like I get to the end of the chat there. Thought I was never going to do that today. Just put this. Is Jono here with us? No, I don't think so. I mentioned his name earlier and he didn't pop his head up, so I don't think he's here today. Celeste, I really need to get Consorting with Spirits by Jason Miller. Brilliant book, excellent book. Everything with Jason Miller is good, so yeah, it's one of those other people you just can't go wrong with. I love my YouTube live screen, and it's still got the waiting screen before I start. I haven't even started my live yet, according to YouTube. What's up? The link to you. Right, thank you. If I go check it now, I'm gonna have a whole load of Windows problems, so I'll go check it later. So I started Transcendental Magic. It's by Eliphas Levy. What was that? Transcendental magic. Yeah, those are good books to read. You know, I think everybody who's really, especially, you know, in regards to Western mystery tradition, ceremonial magic, you know, if you're really into that stuff, you know, all of the older authors, Eliphas Levi, Agrippa, you know, all of those people, they are valuable reads. What was? Oh yes, the Doctrine of Transcendental Magic by Eliphas Levi. That's the one I think. Same one. Lee, is Demons of Magic any good? Who did that again? Because I've got a feeling I'm going to say no. Alright, so that was by Gordon Winterfield, who is part. Oh, it's on Internet Archive, so you can read it for free. Is he part of Gallery of Magic? Can't remember. I'm sure I read this book. Hang on, let me do a search over here. Godfred. Hello, Godfred. Please, as a beginner, how do I start to call spirit? I need your help. So, if you're a beginner, then don't start calling spirits yet. You need to do your foundational work. And I know everybody hates it when I say that, because it's boring and everybody wants to start doing all the really cool magic, but really it's worthwhile. Go through your foundational stuff. Yeah, and then you can start introducing working with spirits, and you might want to work with ancestors before any other spirits because they're just the easiest to work with, and you get used to actually contacting something which is beyond the physical, and then you can start incorporating other spirits. But you've got to do your foundational work first, and that's your meditation, your visualization, your concentration exercises. It's your doing trance work, working with energy, moving energy around, learning discernment, especially if you're going to do spirit work, learning a divination method so you can ask questions and get answers. You know, all of that foundational work. And if you do want, I'm going to send you or put the Patreon link in the chat. And find which window I need to go to. Which is this one. And I've got Temple of the Horned Serpent, first degree material, which is really about going through all of the foundational work, all the foundational stuff, and starting to work with the energy bodies and everything else, and then, you know, go on from there. And also you get introduced to different spirits you work with. You work with the elemental kings, for instance, so you start getting introduced to spirit work, but you don't just get thrown in the deep end and not knowing what the hell to do. So definitely do your foundational work, your foundational work first. It's very important. So I was looking for the book Demons of Magic. Did I put it in this folder? Nope. This one. Here we go. I just want to have a look at the Wasn't the Demons of Magic where he's got the 3 different complexity rituals with different complexities? So the first one is like really, really simple, and then it's a bit more difficult, and then it's a bit more involved. It was an okay book actually. It wasn't bad. It is Gallery of Magic. Don't like supporting Gallery of Magic. So go, if you want to read it, I'd suggest going onto Internet Archive. Go read it there. Yeah, it's not a bad book. It's this taking magic and simplifying it without, and stripping out all of the meat, and therefore people come along and they do it and they don't understand what they're actually doing. So I don't know. Not a great fan. Definitely lost my place again. Castle, the Practical Psychic Self-Defense Handbook by Robert Bruce will help you with 10 different negative spirits and different beings. Robert Bruce is excellent, so yeah, I'll agree with that. Cuckoo summoning spirits. My grandfather always said, let the spirits rest, the spirits will give you twice as much. I like that advice, that's cool. Traditional craft knowledge, yeah, I like that. I'm a psychopath. I kind of cause them to move from this world into the next, and because of that I can't call them back again. But I will go visit them there and visit the ancestors. Sometimes there are some of the spirits that are here restless and can't move over, so they need some help as well. Yolandi Kerry had to go for blood tests. You may know, why would my doctor want a blood count for my red and white cells done? I can't remember the exact tests he wanted. Celeste, I have a few. I'm not a fan of Damon Brand because he's a plagiarist. He plagiarized some of my mentor's work. So it's a personal thing. I also, before I even knew about that, I didn't like Damon Brand anyway, because as I said, he kind of takes magic, strips it to its bare roots, and doesn't explain anything. Just kind of says, do it, you'll get a result, that's all you need to know. I don't like that approach myself. There are a lot of people like him. But yeah, he's a plagiarist, so that's it. Borgia, what books or videos would you recommend for beginning meditation? I'm looking for guides on how to fall asleep, as I have terrible insomnia and I'm trying to quit the sleep meds. I would actually suggest what the hell's there's actually a few apps. There's Calm. So one I used, Insight Timer, also has a lot of them. I use Insight Timer just to for the timer itself. I don't actually go through any other stuff. But there's a lot of guided meditations and stuff which actually help induce sleep. I would actually go and check those out. Guided meditations for that type of stuff is great. Have a look into binaural beats as well. That can also help you get into or induce sleep. A lot of binaural beats you can find on Spotify. A lot of albums that deal with all different aspects. So I'd actually focus there is guided meditations and binaural beats. Because if you start getting to meditation is just a very broad topic, and sometimes it's not going to help you fall asleep. It's probably going to keep you awake, actually, depending on what method you're using. Carry out Yolandi to make sure nothing biological is going on, especially with the meds. Try with Dzogchen if you want simple meditation method. Yeah, there's also, oops, no, that's skipped. Dzogchen is good. And also, I mean, the breathing technique, the bamboo breath is fantastic. In fact, that might actually be is breathing techniques, and bamboo breath is good, but a breath you might want to try because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system is breathe in for a count. Just use the ratio of or basically 1 to 2. So breathe in for a count of 1, whether that's 6 breaths, and then out for 2, which would then be 12 breaths. So you breathe out twice as long as you breathe in. And you can add, hold your breath for a certain amount as well, but that really is the main thing, is the breathe in for a ratio of 1, breathe out for a ratio of 2. And just do that for a while, because it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is going to bring you into a calm state, and it might help with trying to induce sleep. But binaural beats, I would say, great method. Yolandi, okay, thanks. Godfred, I want to work with Marbas. Yeah, a wonderful spirit to work with for healing and stuff. But as I said, if you're beginner, do your foundational work first, because you're either not going to get anything, or you're going to get yourself into a lot of trouble, or you're just going to be extremely lucky. And sometimes that luck runs out. So do your foundational work before working with the spirits, and then go on from there. So practice your meditation, practice working with energy, because you're going to need that. You're going to need to know how to get into a trance state so you can get yourself into a liminal state so you can work with spirits. You're going to need to learn how to get into, use concentration and focus to get into one-pointed focus. So your thoughts aren't scattered all over the place. You're not like focusing on everything else that's going around you rather than working with the spirit. So all of that foundational work is required. It's definitely something you're going to need to do before getting into the spirit work. Borgia. Okay, I've had insomnia for many years and have been on sleep meds for many years. I'm trying to quit, as I heard it can lead to dementia. At least that's what the docs told me. Have you tried meditation? Kind of what they're asking about just now. That is what I want to try, and that is why I'm asking about meditation books, videos, especially for beginners. Deep relaxing meditation might help you relax. I don't know if you want to try it. I do have a free meditation course on YouTube. Let me just find it. There's a playlist. So I'm just going to carry on with the chat while I'm looking for this. Maybe I can't do that because I've got to read all the bloody things. Hang on. I haven't pulled this playlist up for a while. It's probably way down the list. Hang on, I'm sure it's linked on my website. Right there. Okay, so deep relaxing meditation might help you relax enough to sleep. Yeah, it's the problem with insomnia. Sometimes it's trying to get to sleep, other times it's staying asleep. That's the problem. No, it's not on my website. I will find it. Please hold. We're going to play the elevator music in the meantime. I'm really going back now. Meditation and breath work. What's this said? No, wasn't that one. Celeste, not good. I find this book to be essential, though protection and reversal magic. Protection and reversal magic by Jason Miller's excellent, brilliant. Oh, Jason Miller. Jason Miller's just brilliant, all round. I think it's this one, meditation and breath course 2021. Come on, open the videos. Yeah, this was the one. Hold on. I'll put the link in, if I can find the link. Playlist. I think this should take you to the playlist. We'll have a look at that. Let's see if that helps. Skipped again. But yeah, okay, I'm looking to deep relaxing meditation. Cast or use ocean sounds or waves as you sleep. Will help with sleep and keep spirits that are negative away from you, but depends. Celeste, I use sound bowls for sleep. Kerry, Bourgia, just sit in recliner, lay back, and one by one relax your muscles into the chair, deeply settling them into the cushions until you feel fully settled and supporting the rest of it. Yeah, that's good. Good plan. Good idea. Another one is to count yourself down. Practice a trance induction technique that I use, where you imagine yourself in an elevator and you go down from 10 down to 0. So you kind of see the number 10, and you see 10, 10, 10, and then you breathe. Oh, I've forgotten the breathing. Which way do you breathe? Anyway, it doesn't really matter because you just going into induction. So you kind of breathe out and you blow yourself down a level, and you're on level 9, and you go down to level 8. You know, so you kind of use your breath as well between floors. And then you get down to 0, and you're in a really deep trance state. So it might help with sleep induction as well. Was yes, the reason I have insomnia is due to anxiety, depression. My mind won't shut off. Yeah, then meditation might help, but it's going to be a long process, because you'll be able to kind of settle the noisy mind, the monkey mind, shut off the internal dialogue with the practice of meditation, which will probably help. But that's going to be a long process. I think you're looking for something more immediate. Live Love, yes, all of that for sleep, but I'm not selling products. But doTERRA sleep system, they do research in botanical based, check with meds. I think I've heard good things about doTERRA actually. Kerry, dialectical behavior therapy for anxiety. Castle, reverse breathing, push it down to the Dandian and circulate it around the meridians. Qigong and Neigong will help with meditation. Yeah, I mean, I think Qigong and Qigong will help with the circulation of energy and get everything moving properly, which helps generally. It's not, and I think that general help kind of helps with the anxiety, helps with depression, which will help with the sleep and everything else. I always get confused with reverse breathing because I'm so used to doing it the other way. Cuckoo, just be present in everything you do, undistracted, so not follow thoughts and do not stop them. This is Dzogchen meditation. It's mindfulness meditation, isn't it? But yeah, okay, I'll try all these methods. It's the end chat group. It's a pleasure. Could be aware of being an observer of yourself. Yep. I love passion flower and mint tea as well before bed and meditation. Frequently works for me. Dark room, but I actually do have a free book on sleep hygiene. The beats are great for sure. Yeah, look, I mean, there's a lot of things you can have a look at here. I mean, meditation, trance induction. You can use some herbal teas that will help. As Liv Love says, dark room. You know, there could be even just a little, you know, light on your phone can actually interfere with your sleep. But it's very difficult nowadays because we've got lights from the street that come in. But it's, you know, if you can block out as much or as many lights as you can, it would probably help as well. I was going to mention something else now. There's binaural beats, guided meditations. I was going to mention polyphasic sleep. Maybe have a look into that, because what you're doing with polyphasic sleep is cutting your sleep into shorter portions over a 24-hour period. So you don't just get one big block of sleep, you cut it into segments, and these shorter portions might actually help. As I said, it also depends on if you're having difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep. Some people have both, some people have one or the other. But that's what you'll find with polyphasic sleep is if you go into the science of it, it's very, very interesting. I wouldn't get into like really serious polyphasic sleep like the Uberman setup and things like that, but like siesta sleep or you know, splitting into 3 segments. What you do is you actually, because you're not going into a very deep sleep, you are going into REM and then coming out, and you're doing this the whole time, and it actually helps. I found and find when I do it is that I'm able to fall asleep easier, because it just makes sleep so much easier, and you dream, you go straight into dream. It's not like, you know, you have to go through this whole deep phase and then come back into REM and everything else. You go almost straight into REM anyway. So yeah, maybe have a look at polyphasic sleep, and that might help as well. Yeah, whole science behind it. Truth Hurts. Hello. Thanks for joining. I think we're actually going to come to an end very, very soon. We'll try and get to the end of this stream of chats. Yolandi, there are channels on YouTube that play sounds that help you sleep. Oh yeah, they're great. As I said, there's YouTube, and also Spotify does a lot of binaural beats and stuff as well. There's a lot of sleep stuff on Spotify. Tons and tons of albums. You just got to find the ones that actually work for you though. It's a bit of a pain. Yoli have tried those sleep music videos, the ones at 420 or 440 hertz. I think they were. I can't remember which was though. I know 528 is the heart chakra. I mean, but then you get into solfeggio frequencies and stuff like that, which is again really fucking interesting, but whole science on its own. Celeste Jareth Tempest. I tried this one deep trance with Dantalion, a guided path-working ritual to allow you to enter a deep trance at will. It works well, I found. Have a look at that. Actually, a book that I recommended somebody recently, old book, was New Avatar Power, and the induction process that you actually go through is really, really good. Really sends you into a very deep trance. Right. Yeah, got that. Does anybody want a link to it? Let's put our link in. In case anybody wants it. Kerry Richard Gardner. No, he's not here tonight. I don't know where he is actually. I must actually send him. I haven't spoken to him in about a month. I am seeing him next weekend. So, yeah, find out. Maybe he's. Don't know. I'll have to find out. Alexis, mental psychic protection helps with sleep for me. I found I am suffering from insomnia at times because I'm communicating with spirits and astral, and I'm not even realizing it. Yeah, that's a possibility. This is probably possibly why, as I said, some people can get to sleep easier, but they can't stay asleep. Possibly why they're just too active in their sleep, which is the thing. Any blue light filters on your screens would also help. Yep. The ideal thing would be to get rid of all of the electronic lighting altogether, but you've got to, in order to reprogram the brain, you've got to there's got to be natural fires and candle flames and stuff for months before it even starts to reprogram that whole aspect. We've kind of ruined ourselves, I think. Live Love weighted eye mask. I've heard that's very good, and also weighted blankets, especially if it's anxiety and depression related. You might want to try the weighted, not blanket, duvet or whatever it is. And Live Love, yes, the blue light filter with glasses and screen setting for night mode. So Bourgier, you've got a ton of things to go and look for. You're going to be up all night just researching everything now, so you're not going to get any sleep anyway. Tracy Temple Sounds has some very good things. They may help you sleep. There's also the Monroe Foundation with HemiSync. They've also got a load of stuff for sleep. In fact, HemiSync, you pay a lot for HemiSync, but there is a whole load of HemiSync on Spotify that they're kind of giving away for free. The Gateway Experience is on here. I imagine that being the same thing. Let's see, so we've got HemiSync Meditation, Serene Sleep. And HemiSync's great because it works with binaural beats. So you've got one frequency in one ear and another frequency in the other ear. And it's the frequency that gets created in the middle where they meet. So there's the whole benefit. There's Magical Ascension, Celestial Space, Quest of the Mystic, Path to Peace. Yeah, there's Serene Sleep, Lullaby. There's a couple specifically for sleep. If we'd known earlier, I could have played you one to see if you fall asleep, as long as you're not driving a car or something. But I think we're going to come to an end. Monroe is the best. Great, I loved Monroe. In fact, Monroe, I've read Journeys Out of the Body when I was about 14 or 16. That's one of my earliest books. That was after my Lobsang Rampa discovery. Yeah, Monroe was just one of those foundational people for me. Celeste during Z to protect myself. So I'm not talking to rando beings. I use seraphim, psychic protection mantra, relaxing music, sleep. Is that a heavy thing or is that something else? Let's see. Okay, that's not on. Can't find on Spotify anyway. Okay, anyway. And you say good night. Can I say good night? Good night, everybody. Unseen Alliance with Ryan Angelo. I think Raggio's got a ton of suggestions. They're not going to be sleeping at all. We've got too much to study. Alright, I'm going to bring today to an end and go to sleep. What's this thing popping up for? Go away. Okay, there we go. Have a wonderful week, everyone. This is from hello, Devs. Didn't know you were here. Thanks for the great stream. It's a pleasure. Thank you for joining, everybody. Thanks for the chat. And I'll see you all next week. Yeah, next week. Sunday. There we go. Okay, have a good one.